The East and West have engaged in a complex and inspiring dialogue throughout art history. The exchange between the world's diverse cultures and aesthetic traditions has perhaps never been more alive than during the last 100 years. Since its first auction in Hong Kong in 1986, Christie's has sought to present works that convey an artist's unique social or cultural heritage. Our international platform and local expertise enables us to bring together work from around the globe, inviting collectors to appreciate, admire, and perhaps own a piece of cultural history. One of the first and most celebrated 20th century Chinese artists to integrate the classical tradition with modern sensibilities in a Western style was Zhao Qi. This influential painter's work has found acclaim not only with collectors in mainland China, Hong Kong and Taiwan, but also on an international stage.
赵无极这件1960年创作的大作，可以算是最早期一件在中国美术史上将东方山水的抽象意境带入西方抽象绘画的杰作。赵无极运用了类似模拟水墨画的一个表达方式，以黑白、浓淡、干湿来绘画出云雾缥缈的宏伟山景。
Zhao Wuji trained at the Hangzhou National Academy of Art, Zhejiang Province, where he learned classical Chinese techniques as well as European academic styles. In 1948, he immigrated to Paris, where he was exposed to the works of fellow painters Joan Miro, Paul Klee, and Alberto Giacomatti.
You're seeing many of these innovations of French modernism, the subdued cubist palette and the very flattened space. And you're seeing a movement towards abstraction. But what makes Zhao Wuji's work very special is the way that he incorporates an Asian sensibility along with these so-called Western innovations.
A contemporary of Zhao Wuji's, Chu Te-chun, is considered one of Asia's most important abstract expressionist artists. His monumental, untitled 1961 combines traditional Chinese inkwash painting with the brilliance of oil pigments, transforming a mountain landscape into a wash of rich lines and color that infuse the work with depth and energy.
这件创作于1961年的大作，挥洒劲豪的线条中具有强烈的书法性，深沉厚实的笔触充满着生气，并主导了画面的视觉动态，创造出仿若音符跳跃的旋律与动感。
There's a seemingly wild gesture to it, but at the same time, when you really know the work, it is very deliberate and precise.
清代沈宗谦的用墨陈述：破墨者，先以淡墨勾定框廓，框廓既定，乃分凹凸，形体已成，渐次加浓，令其墨气烟润。若藏失者，复以胶墨破其界限轮廓。 或作书胎于界处，朱德群这件巨作能代表出他开辟了西方抽象绘画潮流的另外一条的道路，也为东西抽象艺术的精神推向新的层次与视觉的观感。
Painted in 1987, Chu Te-chun's La Forêt Blanche et Deux is a more recent example that reflects the evolution of his abstract style as he settled in France and became an increasingly important figure in the international abstract movement.
在画中看似非常自由的一个线条，其实是在一个严格的控制下组成的。画作的动线呢，能牵引着观者的视觉起伏。 和艺术家一同环顾这一片在白茫茫之中的枯枝、残干和错落其间的一个寒林冬景，让绘画不再是虚无缥缈的水墨山水，而呈现出的是中国的绘画现代精神。
What I see in Chu Te-chun's application of paint is very much in line with his classical training in calligraphy. In the American abstract expression, there's a certain gesture which becomes signature or innate to the soul of that painter.
On a formal level, Chu Te-chun's work engages in a dialogue with Western abstract art. Its calligraphic line and saturated colours, at times evoking the work of Mark Rothko, Franz Klein, and particularly Sam Francis.
violet, yellow, and white, in many ways is a quintessential example of Sam Francis's abstract expressionism, particularly as it relates to an Asian sensibility in its insistent flatness and this beautiful evocation of landscape and mountains, as you see, with the beautiful blues and grays and whites that run throughout.
Sam Francis 这幅创作于1958年的抽象画，我们可以用泼墨山水的视角来欣赏西方色彩的感觉和运用。这幅画可以说是一种新的色彩泼墨的概念。画中的白色空间是一种刻意的控制的留白，留白引导了所有的色彩的位置及布局，是以没有颜色的白来主导所有的色彩及空间。
We're selling an extraordinary Franz Kline from the 1950s. It's a classic abstract expressionist work, very brawny, black and white, very rough and gestural, but one that unmistakably has an Asian sensibility that one can't deny. It clearly looks like Asian characters, and there's a very strong calligraphic approach to it, that so much so that Franz Kline found himself having to deny that through a good part of his career. But the affinities are there.
I feel that both Zhao Wuqi, Chu Taichun, Franz Kline, Sam Francis could very easily fit into the same collection. They aren't necessarily about the best of the East or the best of the West. They are the best of international contemporary art.
The innovations of artists like Zhao Wuqi and Chu Taichun paved the way for a new generation of artists who drew upon their personal experiences, formal training, and aesthetic philosophies to further engage with a Western style of art making. Zheng Fangzhi, in his iconic Mask series, responds to China's modernization and changing social landscape, while also provoking a dialogue with Western contemporary art.
画家曾凡志曾说，他所画的每一张画，其实提出的都是一个问题，都是人的问题，从生到死，一系列问题。他从1990年代就抱定了这个目标和方向，要提出人类面临的所有困境。另外，在颜色上运用了类似五色旗的概念，以红、黄、蓝、白、黑的视觉色彩组合，去吻合当时充斥于社会坊间一些五族共和的政治宣传海报印象。
The choices in the colors in the painting are clearly not by accident. It gives the essence of cultures having to mix with one another. This idea of wanting to westernize or being forced to westernize. In the 1990s and the aftermath, going from social realist painting into this almost cultural surrealism. There's this, I think in this painting, a very important interplay of how we're becoming much more international, and the boundaries between East and West are blending.
Like Zheng Fangzhi, American artist Jean-Michel Basquiat reached across geographic and cultural boundaries to find signs and symbols that would speak to universal themes. Taking as its subject the majestic figure of the fisherman, this untitled masterwork from 1981 reflects the powerful iconography and raw intensity that have since become the hallmarks of Basquiat's best work and gained praise from collectors around the world.
You see a culture clash, if you will, an African-American painter in a white world, whether it's West African sculpture or Haitian voodoo or Christian iconography. He's looking for these signs, these signifiers and symbols that will essentially cross cultures. And I think that what Zheng Fangzhi is trying to do here is very similar in a way of trying to express how China has changed so quickly.
很多伟大的艺术家都希望自己的作品能成为真实反映一个社会跟时代的节点。我们在比较巴斯基亚和曾梵志的画作上，看到一种共通性。他们不仅要画出一幅动人的画作，但更希望表达出一种社会问题，一种能横跨种族或文化认同挣扎上的问题。
The dialogue between East and West remains a fascinating and ongoing source of inspiration to artists around the world. This conversation across cultures and geographies lays the groundwork for a modern artistic voice that bridges tradition with innovation, and in doing so, helps to shape and define the art of our time. We hope you will enjoy viewing these and our other highlights at the Christie's International Autumn Season Preview.